All right.
So Fernando, I
Yes,
guess
sir.
you're the
Is Tom
newest
here
one.
too?
Tom Whalen, yeah, he's the
Yeah.
one with the big BA sign.
Ah, okay. That stands for
Okay.
Gotcha. Badass.
Yes.
Like you? Yeah.
Um, so Fernando, you've been taking calls, what, a couple of days now?
I took some yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, I started taking them. I didn't take any today because I wanted to get some things, a little better organization. Want to get my materials to email people, which is what we really I think we need is, I think I was explaining this to you yesterday, and maybe Tommy can help us with this, is once you do start talking to someone, they call you back, and then, you started your intro, um, a couple, maybe a recorded script of how Tommy, breaks into the phone call, the first initial contact. Of course, we'll all do it our own way. That would be good. And then our first contact, once we do get, like, I have one individual that's interested from yesterday, and, I really don't have any material together yet to email them, to send them. Tom gave me some, which Tom Whalen, which looks
Mhm.
great, but we need it really to have all our own information on it so that we
Yeah,
can.
Fernando, what did he give you? Like where'd you leave off with him? Because what I
With the guy.
do,
Yeah,
if
go.
they purchased it in 24, you just need to see if they did a 1031 exchange. Other than that, if they have an appraisal or you can go on to like Zillow and
Gotten that far. I'm still dealing with just the enrolled agent.
yeah,
So the enrolled agent has shown some interest. So, I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to send him so that I can start calling him back and,
just ask them
explain.
if they have a client that has the need for that service.
Yeah,
Do they want
So
information on cost seg and like how it works and yada yada?
yeah. I believe, yes, he was, this individual is asking me, yeah, send me more information on what you do, your services and such. So, I tried to explain to him some, and of course,
I can get a
I'm brief.
flyer for you guys. That's fine.
Yeah, some initial one, something simple, a flyer, one page with,
I have every single one from CSSI, which we can pillage those and just put our own, you know, header on
yeah,
it with our own company, Um,
I think that would be great. If we could get, like, something with our name, phone number, and email down at the corner somewhere.
And Carrick, we can get that from Vanessa as well.
yeah, I have every single one of them. I have them all saved. So we just need to
From
start talking.
Vanessa?
Huh?
From Vanessa on the new with the new company?
No, no, no. I didn't know. No, I'm just saying I have all the ones from CSSI. I don't have any of the ones from Vanessa. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what theirs look like if they're,
I
um,
think they're great looking.
are
And
they?
you
Okay,
guys
I
you
haven't
guys
even
have
seen
seen the
them.
proposal.
Yeah, I've seen the.
Is there
I
is there any
haven't
way we
seen
can
them.
just start a Google Drive and be able to pull off the stuff from there, share it?
Yes.
Great.
100%.
All right. So
Well,
I
well,
think Tom, going back to Fernando's point of view, it's like I'm finding enrolled agents. I assume they know what cost segregation is, but it seems like they
That's not true.
see that's right.
Half of them have no clue what it is.
Okay. So we just need materials to navigate, but more importantly, how do you navigate on the call? And just having some kind of documentation or have some short audio clips of maybe the first 30 or 60 seconds of a call.
Yeah, I think you guys might be overthinking it because the enrolled agents that I started working with, I just talked to them literally on the phone for 15 minutes and said, "Hey, look, send me over a client that has commercial property or residential income property, and I'll do a free proposal for you. And it takes a few days. I'll send it back to you. We'll discuss it, and then if they'd like to move forward, and that is all your marketing right there. I mean, that it's a just a super simple hyperlink, tells you everything about cost segregation, and that's that. I mean, I had an enrolled agent just give me four properties. She doesn't know me from Adam.
What hyperlink you're referring to?
When you get the proposal completed, you
Oh,
guys seen that hyperlink, right?
no.
Okay.
Yes, you have, Tom. You just didn't remember.
Where, where, oh, the hyperlink that goes to, it shows TPTM and somebody else's email and address, and it's just a real quick summary and
Yes,
who's,
yeah. So
okay.
when you get the basics, you send it over to me. I'll send it up to I'll take a look at it and add or subtract whatever we need to. Send it over to uh, tax method experts, and they're going to email it back with a hyperlink for that property,
Correct. That's correct.
and it'll break down the deal.
Those are the examples that we shared. Mine that I have on that um, motel I'm doing in Anaheim, and Tom was showing his example of the ones that he had.
Yeah.
And like you said, those things, the first part of it, it's kind of like your initial disclosures on a loan, right? The first part of it kind of breaks down everything there is to know about cost seg, and then what it is and yada yada, all the stuff that they would probably want to know. But if they want more than that up front before they even start giving you clients to look at, sometimes like you can say, send me for an example, just send me a tax return, send me your own tax return, whatever. Just so I can give an example, or we can give them one of the ones that we've done, one of these sample ones that we've, that I've done or Tom's done, or, or any of the ones that like on the CSSI ones. I don't know if this other company has similar ones, but we have case study ones of, that look, show what they've done for people, how much they've gotten them back. And that alone should just be enough to get them to say, okay, here's a tax return. Here's a depreciation schedule. Show me what you can do.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And show them, get them 200 grand, sign on the dotted line. You don't
That's
think
exactly right.
You just brought up something pretty good, Carrick. Maybe some samples is what we need. Like here's what an initial analysis looks like that you'll get in 2 to 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I think
from
I
one of your
sent
clients.
all of you guys the example from CSSI, which shows.
I don't want to use that one, Carrick.
I know we don't want to use it, but just for you guys verbally giving an example over the phone, you can look at that one example that I gave, which is I think I grabbed one of the most impressive ones, which was the medical building one for CSSI.
Yeah.
And that one showed them getting back $33.8 million the first year. So the way I normally, when I'm talking to people, I giving them examples, I say, hey, I'll give you an example. We just had we have a medical building that we did some time ago. They spent, $30+ million on it, and we got them back 3.8 million their first year. So just a quick, and otherwise they would have got that 3.8 million in 39 increments over 39
exactly
years.
Right.
Right. And that's right. That's all you say. And they're like, shit, and the time value of that money right now going to work, is what we're talking about. It's going to, compound it and make it grow and invest it, or they can take that 3.8 million, take all of us to Vegas, and we'll have a great weekend. Whatever you want, it's your money. Do whatever you want with it. But that's kind of,
that's the idea,
right?
Time value. It's all about time value, money, and it's the cheapest loan you're ever going to get.
Well, I thought you were talking about the idea was to go to Vegas. No,
yeah, exactly.
But you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you hook them. Like, hey, let me just show you. Give me a tax return. Anybody's. I don't care. Anybody that owns a commercial property, just as an example, just as an experiment. That's what I did with Joe Eiswort, the dentist.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
I tell the enrolled agents, look, I'll get it done for you. I just did it. And they gave me 5 properties. The proposal's done. I sent it back to them. I said, call me when you're done and we'll discuss it. They'll see what we did. We're generating $220,000 of depreciation. They're saving $75,000.
And this was off the EA list that you just did on the voice. Yeah.
That's correct. Okay. And then I talked to a guy yesterday, and this was the first one from my phone's been going off the hook, and I don't know if you talked to those guys about.
I reamed them a new asshole.
Yes, thank you. Because
who's that?
Voice
drop. Our voice drop.
They're calling my enrolled agents at 3 a.m, and my they were calling me pissed at me, like, why the hell are you calling me at 3 in the morning? I'm like, well, I'm West Coast. Like, that's even worse because you're behind me. So that means
I'm excited to save your client so much money.
exactly.
I dial 24
If it was
7.
Hawaii, it would have made sense and it would have gone in the
Yeah.
right time zone, but it was
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wrong direction. So they really,
Obviously, that was that's a tech problem they had because so the tech support out of India or whatever, the guy did nothing but it pissed me off because he's all, well, this is how it works, and I'm all, I don't, then
yeah,
maybe I should just drop you, cancel my uh,
yeah,
deal with
yeah,
you because if you're that incompetent,
yeah.
if you can't even, I said I feel like I'm in a beta software test here, you know.
But here I know. But here's another one that I got yesterday or 2 days ago, enrolled agent. They super nice guy in New York. And New York accent, fast talking, whatever. And I said, "Hey, look." I said, he said, we already do cost segregation. We do in-house cost segregation. I'm like, oh, that's great. We're on the same page here and we like to save clients money. He's like, yeah. I'm like, you probably know the CPA that I work with. I work with Eric Wallace. He's like, oh, I love Eric Wallace. That guy's the man. So he already knew Eric Wallace. So he has a name. The company we are working for, the guy's got a name in the industry. And he said, Tom, I only do deals that are 5 million and above. I'm like, well, great. Give me all the ones 5 million and less, and I'll pay you. Because the guy was professional, I'm like, I'll pay you 20% referral fee. Because the guy's professional, so I'm not gonna have to deal with some ding dong.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's a CPA. I'm like, I'll do this. I'm like, I'll even white label it for you if you want. He's like, no, that's fine. He's like, I don't want to put my name or anything on any work I didn't do, but yeah, we'll be happy to send you stuff 5 million and below. I'm like, okay, there you go.
All day long.
So I think the most we can help Fernando and Tom, just talking to Fernando, is he needs help on his opening script because he gets a lot of people that just call up and hang up or, oh, I got the wrong number.
No, you get that on the enrolled agents.
Uh-huh.
You have to understand these enrolled agents, they do 100 other things under the sun, right?
Mhm.
But the ones that are serious, you probably have 10 to 15% of them that are the real deal. So, you might have 10,000 enrolled agents out there that are the real deal. And I've called enrolled agents and they said, I'm too busy right now. Tax season's coming up. It's like, okay, well, those are good people because they are very serious about their business and they're very busy right now.
Yeah.
So you just keep it simple and say, hey, I want to do a value add for your client and make your practice more money. Very simple. The less you say, the better you're going to be, the better off you are. And they say, how? Like, I'll do cost segregation for your clients, save them money. They're going to be even more happy with you, and you're going to get mailbox money. It's that simple. And I keep the referral fees at 10%.
What is their daily grind? NEA's daily grind? Like what do they do different maybe than what a regular CPA does? Is there any difference?
Well, no, they could potentially be like a realtor or a loan officer or whatever.
Okay.
But a lot of these guys work for like H&R Block or
Oh,
like Intuit or something like that.
got it. Okay.
So an enrolled agent, Carrick, that's just the licensing that allows them to appear before the IRS and represent a taxpayer.
Uh-huh.
Most of these guys are just, I mean, they're bookkeeper slash accountants.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That is exactly right.
That
And
makes
if you can get one of these enrolled agents that work within a CPA office,
Hmm.
that's a gold mine. If
Yeah.
you can get a CPA that likes cost segregation, that's a gold mine and you will make a lot of money.
Hey, Tom, that's a good topic. So I had a lady, she said that she's an enrolled agent, but she works for a firm. So it sounds like she's, on their payroll. So
Yeah.
how does that work? Obviously, talk to the kingpin.
You can either say, hey, do you want to do this and make yourself some extra money, or do you want to take this to the owners and we can create the service for them? And you
Okay.
can white label it too. So if it's EF Hutton CPA, it's like, okay, well, we'll put EF Hutton CPA on our letterhead and it looks like it's coming from them and say we're charging 4 grand. Okay, well, you guys charge 6.
It's almost like they're a paralegal and the CPAs are the attorneys, right? Is that a good analogy or no?
Yeah.
sort of.
It's just the enrolled agent. You're gonna get you if I were a CPA, I probably would have a slew of smart enrolled agents because I can pay them less.
Right.
So do all the heavy lifting. I'll review your work, sign off on it, and charge $100 more an hour for what you did for me. It's not a bad way to go.
Okay, numbers game. I was talking to John about it. So it sounds like, you talk to about 10 of these guys, you might get one that's interested.
Correct.
Okay. And then, accumulation of one out of three of those interested would actually produce an address to do a cost seg.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think, Tom, just like from our discussion, same thing with Fernando. I think obviously we'll get the emails, the email follow-ups. We'll send you over some stuff, Fernando. But I think the goal of the first phone call is, hey, the value add to your business, mailbox money, and go for an address. You have any go for addresses like
That's
right
exactly
off
right.
the bat?
That's exact. Shoot for the proposal every
Yeah.
time. Even with
That-
green zip tape, shoot for the proposal. It's like
Set,
because
set the
once you
appointment.
have the proposal,
Yeah.
then you have something that's meaningful to them. You
Yeah.
can talk abstract all day long if you want, and it's meaningless. But you
Yeah.
can say, "Hey, look, let me give you something that's concrete and meaningful to you and to your client." And I have to tell you, our proposals look way better than CSSI. So it's like
Mhm.
I don't even care about the marketing. I didn't even ask for the marketing because I don't need the marketing. Give me an address, I'll give you a proposal. That's my marketing. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, give
Hey,
me
so
give me $10 and I'll give you 70.
Tom, I've got a prospect that uses SCCI or C, whatever it is.
Well,
CSSI.
I don't want to disparage anybody. That was part of my separation agreement is not to talk ill will of them. But I will say they are, and this is just not speaking poorly on them, but I can tell you, I know for a fact they are shipping their stuff to India now.
Oh,
So
good to know.
it's
I
like,
was going to
okay,
send it. I was just
that's
going to
not
give her.
disparaging. That's not disparaging. That's the
Fact.
truth. They are doing that.
I
And,
was going to
and
give her the number.
their engineers are not happy about it because they know it's just a matter of time. So, a venture capitalist bought them out. And unfortunately, venture capitalists, they will freaking wind and grind and freaking every single penny they can get out, they will. So it's like, okay, well, you can go with a legitimate CPA that's he's
Yeah.
published. He's a published CPA and he's testified in front of Congress. He's written books on cost segregation. I'd rather go with someone that is a CPA that does it, not someone in India.
Who doesn't know the tax laws. Hey, I did find the link, by the way, John, and I'm looking at the TPTM. So this is the first point of contact that the client's going to see with Stephanie Boyle's information and then Leo Polo Gianni or whatever it is, Gian. And then, it's, we're kind of letting them see firsthand, the company we're using. But I realize it's a relationship and they could go around us, but
They're not gonna do that. I'm telling you guys right now. I mean, maybe I am wrong. I can tell you right now, CSSI was incredibly guilty of that. They did it to me even after I had left. They did it. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. And so that is what they do, and that is, I believe, probably part of the reason why they left CSSI. So Eric Wallace was the CPA for CSSI. He did not like the way they did business, and he left them. Took a couple engineers with him, and he did his own cost segregation. That's TPTM. They are very serious about honoring who brought the business in, and talking to Vanessa, she has it in HubSpot. She logs it in, and it's like who's the rep, and they keep it that way. Now, there's
according
no
to,
guarantee, but even if you did it your own way, there's no guarantee. So
yeah,
the only other way that we could have a guarantee, and John and I talked about this, is, maybe the guy I talked to in New York, his company's writeitoff.com, whatever. And so you can come up with a clever name or whatever, and then you can rebrand I don't know what they're doing as far as their invoice, how they do that scenario. It's just a web link. Even when I've gone back to them and said, "Hey, I need this fee reduced," or "I need changes made," whatever, they make the changes and it changes right on that link. So whatever software they're using is pretty slick. But I personally, I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need to do that with these guys. I don't have that feeling of, and honestly, with CSSI, I had that feeling pretty early on. But with these guys, I don't think that's going to be the problem. I really don't. And John and I both have HubSpot, so we're tracking this stuff like a hawk.
It's just the relationship with the EA. That's all.
Yes,
Uh,
that's it. So like on top of mine, the guy said, "Let's go," and I got Jacob Vincent on it. That's the engineer that worked on it. It's like I don't care. I've talked to Jacob. He's a really nice guy. He's not a sales guy. He's an engineer that's crunching these numbers.
mhm. Is there a way to get a hold of a final like dummy engineered report so I could kind of preview
I
the
don't
end
have one
result?
fully completed. I've got two in process right now.
Okay.
And I should have those in about 3 weeks. So, but I do have one that's completed from CSSI. You can take a look at that one. But
Sure. Something more information, the better.
CSSI is their it's way when you look at stuff and it's like this is done by an engineer, kind of like in sales, and I'm sure Kara can relate with me on this. It's like this database was created by an engineer, top brass, who aren't salespeople, told the engineers what they want, and this is what you see. It's like, well, I don't care about that. Why is my cell phone on page 3 when all I want is to pull up client's name and call it real quick, right? TPTM, their UI is very good looking and it's very easy to read. CSSI is complicated and you got to kind of be an engineer to understand it. This is a very easy. I've proposed a couple of these now. They're very easy to talk through. And once you guys have one, I'm happy to hop on the phone with you guys to help sell it and just walk through it. And you guys are smart. I mean, I can tell, John, you guys are a smart group, and there's no ding dongs here. So you guys will get it very, very quickly
Hey,
and be
real
up and
real
running.
quick, guys. So I know you probably can't see this text message, but this is from and Tom and I are going to jump on this call Monday together. But this is the guy that just texted me back, who's building the 78 unit apartment complex here locally. He's in permitting stage, and we're going to sell him green zip tape. I told him I can 3x his cost seg. Uh,
Yeah.
with green zip tape on this apartment 78 unit apartment complex. He's building $20 million build for this. So we're gonna capture this deal. I'm actually gonna try to get the loan and the solar as well on this, but
I had a guy. Yeah, the solar is great, Carrick, and
yeah.
I had a call this morning. Guys got $100 million build up in LA, and those
Yeah.
$100 million builds, we're gonna save them anywhere from 10 to 15 million dollars on taxes,
Yeah.
and our license fee is like 350 grand, 400 grand.
Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
those commissions are through the roof. Now,
Yeah.
I don't want to bait you guys on that because they are a hard sell. It's a long sell, but I'm telling you, those commissions are freaking steep.
Yeah. Well, this guy's in permitting right now, so he's like really close to breaking ground. So we want to get him in now and get it all dialed in so that they can implement the green zip tape
I
and
have a call tomorrow with the inventor of the tape and Eric Wallace tomorrow because
nice.
I've got a $65 million project that I'm working on right now in San Diego.
Nice.
But that will probably be a 50 or $60,000 commission.
Yeah. So we're talking about Fernando. We'll get you out of that closet you're in.
Both closets.
Yeah.
It's making me think of
It's not that
making me
bad.
think of George Costanza
Right.
in Seinfeld. You can't get rid of me.
Yeah. No, I'm ready to get out. I feel like a caged rat.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of that conduit going up the wall kind of reminds me of bars, jail cell bars.
Yeah, it's like a jail cell in there. It's actually pretty damn cool. I don't complain. So
Well, what I think is cool about that is the fact that It's probably so freaking quiet in that room.
It is quiet. Well, it just depends on what's going on. I have a taxiway right next that just on the other side of this door or this wall, and it's just corrugated metal. And when a 777 goes by, it gets a little loud. I can hear them because they're taxiing off to go to a runway or they just landed or something going to a gate. So it can
That's
get loud, but right
crazy.
now it's quiet. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Where do you hang your
yeah,
hammock?
yeah.
It's kind
What's
of like,
that?
I look at that. It's kind of like Get Smart. It's pretty cool.
I said, where do you hang your hammock in there? Is it you got your hammock?
Oh, yeah. No, I just got a comfortable chair.
Oh,
That's so funny.
Yeah,
You don't set up a little bed under your desk like George
yeah.
Costanza with an alarm clock?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
should, huh?
That's so
Okay.
funny.
Yeah,
A
I
couple
could.
other points of interest here, guys. So, I I think I found a company where I can send this whole EA list out here that I don't need to take out a mortgage on my house to append it with emails. So I should be able to append probably close to 70% of the list
Nice.
with emails. And then we'll start emailing the list as well.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Awesome.
What's
Rock and roll.
a couple of things conversion rate on the emails, but we'll see. Tom, with regards to the people that call, I don't understand why. I guess they're trying to check the voicemail and they accidentally call me, so I get like a half ring and then they hang up. And then you're calling them back?
The crazy thing about that is a lot of these enrolled agents, and I can't figure it out because I'm not on the receiving end, but a lot of these guys call me back and say, "Hey, I just missed a call
Right
from
back.
you."
Right?
And so I'm like, "Okay, well, did you get the voicemail in the first place?"
Mm-hmm.
That's my one question. But I'm having luck with those guys too. It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I left you a voicemail. I just wanted to see, are you still working currently as an enrolled agent?" And they'll
That's the
say
people
yes.
that's the people you're talking to, but the half ring, are you calling them back? Like it'll ring
Oh
like
yeah. No, so the
once.
ones that I missed or the ones I can't pick up, I call them back and say,
And
"Sorry
then
for the phone tag. Just calling. Are you still working as an enrolled agent?" They'll say
and
yes or
then
no. It's like, "Well, I'm a cost segregation company, and we pair up with enrolled agents like yourself,
yeah.
and we can bring a value add to your client and help add a little bit more income to your practice." Adding more income to their practice, their ears are going to perk right up.
Yeah.
They like that.
Okay. But my point is that it's again, you're calling people back that called you. You didn't get the missed call. It's like 1 in 10 again. It's the same kind of. There's some are receptive, some just don't want to talk.
Yes. Yeah, some of them. I have one that it was so funny. I shared it with John. It was the funniest thing. And the guy called me back and he threatened to call Biden on me. It's like, all right,
You
see you later.
should have threatened with Trump. I mean, that would have been more effective.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. So,
Oh, whatever. Yeah. Now there's some idiots out there. I had one lady, I was telling John, same thing. She's like, I'm gonna post this on the board. Like, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
See you later. Bye.
And they
Yeah.
say, where'd you get my number? I'm like, I got it from the IRS.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was another question. Like, how did you get my cell number? You're like, I don't know. I don't
IRS?
handle that. Is
No,
it?
used to be posted on the IRS. The IRS has now taken that down. So that list that we have is very valuable. But yeah, they don't do that anymore. Now it's just a mailer to them.
When did they get it taken down? Months or
Oh, I
years?
don't know. I don't
Oh,
know because I went back in to grab it myself. I'm like, shoot, because I thought I saved well, I think I did save a copy, but my last company zapped my computer, so it disappeared. So I just went to another guy that works with us, and he had it, and he sent it to me. So it's like, okay, well, I still have it. So that's that.
good. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
So we did all this in a half hour. That's pretty good.
Tom, are you familiar with Wayland's um, his offering for companies with 50 plus employees?
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Champ.
Yes, yeah, we did talk about that.
Okay.
I'm just trying to stay focused on two things. So I'm doing just mortgages and cost seg. And if something else comes up and they're interested, then I'm gonna sell them Carrick on your solar and just refer. And then, if they've got
Okay.
50 employees, then I'll just gonna refer to Tom and
Well,
refer.
it's 10 and more. I can get you guys some information. I
10.
think it's a great, second cell, third cell, whatever. But
Exactly.
the more you understand it, it's just, oh my gosh, you have employees, you want to save money on payroll, you want to give them a raise, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's just so silly. Then that's what I'm doing with some of the enrolled agents. Like you don't have business owners with buildings? Nope. Like okay, do you have business owners with employees? And a lot of the enrolled agents are like under 10
Yeah.
employees. So, but
Yes.
there's one,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Some of the enrolled agents have like 50 and under employees. So I'm like okay, so that's probably like 1 out of 50 or 1 out of 20 calls, contacts. So, but anyways, yeah, I can shoot you guys some information.
But the
It's a
enrolled
no.
agents could be working, some of their clients could have, 50 plus employees.
Yeah, yeah, right.
If you get 10 good, solid enrolled agents, you have a very good business pipeline.
Okay, that's a good. See, yeah, numbers, right? Statistics. That's what Fernando and I are looking for.
Yeah.
What's the goal? What's the object? What do we need? How do we get there? So we have the target and to make some
So
good
the
money.
so Tom, what they say at CSSI, and I believe this is true, is you do your 100 calls a day for the first year. And after that, you will be spending maybe 70% of your time. And then by the year two, you're doing like half. And by year three, you don't even have to do any cold calls because you've set up enough repeat business.
And that's what you were doing, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
so,
And then with the dialer, we're doing, it's up, we can modify it, but it's, 100, 200, 300 a day.
well, that's exactly right. So the dialer just makes you be that much more productive. So, that was great that John set that up. I had it set up at my last company because they're putting constraints on me while I was managing 400 people nationwide. So it's like, okay, you want me to produce and freaking herd cats at the same time. That's not going to happen.
So these
So
guys were literally calling 100, cold calling with their dialing.
the green guys, yeah, the green guys, yes.
Okay. All right.
And so once you get that rhythm and you have a handful of CPAs and the other one too are realtors. The commercial brokers are harder to get.
Yeah, they are.
They don't want to sell something for you, and they're hard and they have bigger egos too. But the real estate agents, they're they like that mailbox money, so they're like, okay. And so what I tell a realtor, and this is I've got a large team here in San Diego that they're running business through me now, and I tell them, and realtors are a funny breed, right? And I said, look, guys, business sucks right now. It's slow. Go through your last 5 years of deals that you have closed. How many of them are investment properties? And call them. Tell them about cost segregation. We can help save taxes on it. I sold you that property. It's a value add to a realtor. It gives you a reason why to call them and say, hey, I sold you this investment property to you. How's it working out? Is it good? Okay. How are you doing on taxes this year? Would you be interested in doing a cost segregation? I've got someone that I team up with that does cost segregation and then can help you reduce your tax liabilities.
The other angle with that, Tom and Fernando, is that I've used with my realtor, commercial realtor partners is, have you ever had a deal on the table? And let's say as an example, that because I had one very similar to this. Purchase price of this building was going to be $8 million. They were converting it into an indoor pickleball facility, right? And it's going to have like 30 courts in it or something like that, and some batting cages and golf simulators and things like that. But so you got $8 million, and this is prior to me even knowing about cost seg. This deal came across my plate. Actually, my wife was trying to close a real estate transaction on it, but $8 million for the purchase of this building. It was going to cost him a good $1 million or so to rehab it to get it what he needed it for his business. And then he figured he needed X amount of money to keep him afloat until he became profitable. You do all the math on it, and the guy's like, it's just not, it just doesn't pencil. I'm going to be negative for too long, and it's just not going to pencil. Now, had I been able to present cost seg to him, and it's the same thing I tell my realtor partners, if I could have introduced cost seg and got the guy back $500,000 or whatever, would have that made the deal go through, right? And any realtor could tell you, if we could have created some other money for him to pad him to get him
100%.
profitable, that deal would have went through. And so that's the way I present to these guys. You're going up against competition with all these other realtors out there trying to sell the same property, but when you're introducing this, you're setting yourself apart from the competition by creating the ability to make this deal work when it otherwise wouldn't have. Right?
That's exactly what I did on that $50 million purchase.
Yeah.
They looked at a couple different properties. I said, hey, look, I'll run a cost tag on whichever property you look at, and you can run that into your cash flow projections. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. And they ultimately went with that one. And I'm saving them probably $3 million this year in taxes.
Yeah. And now the deal works because I got this extra money. Nobody else ever counted me up for, so yeah.
So hey, I need to wrap up this call. But
just one quick question before you go, Tommy. Hey, do you work with anybody that has that does like Airbnbs and
100%.
Yeah,
I have a VRBO guy that I call on, and I said, look, this is a value add that you can bring to your clients. They're doing improvements, and I'm doing a second one now with the VRBO guy, and I said, look, my guy sold $100,000 of stock to do his remodel. I'm saving him. I'm basically covering all the capital gains tax for him because he is a real estate professional. But I want you guys to write these numbers down. I think it was Gary that I was talking to the other day, but write these numbers down. So you guys may or may not know, but you cannot depreciate land.
Right. We know that.
Definitely know that.
So I'm going to use really simple numbers for you guys. And this is a calculation you can use when you're talking to people and they throw out something, right? Now, a enrolled agent, they're going to be able to give you the cost basis. But if you got someone that's buying a property, let's just say it's $1 million, depending on where the location is, if you're by the coast, it's going to be at least 50% of the purchase price is going to be land.
Right.
So that's going to tell you you're going to have a $500,000 cost basis. I did a $3.5 million purchase duplex. It was a block off the beach. The city had the land value like at 90% of the purchase price.
Yeah.
Now, my guy's a developer, and he said that's a bunch of horse shit, and he told me to use 50%. So that's what we did. He told me that. Now, the client could tell you what the cost basis is, or the enrolled agent can, but typically, as a rule of thumb, you can be very conservative and say 25% of the value is land. That's a good base number to use. If I'm doing something that's Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, whatever, I'll do like maybe 85% cost basis, maybe even 90.
Really?
So let's just make the numbers super easy right now.
25%.
It depends. It depends on the state and how aggressive they are. The more red states, the more beneficial it is on the cost basis, right? But $1 million, 25% puts you at 750. So that's going to be your cost basis is 750. Your average number is going to range anywhere from 15% to 25% is what the benefit of cost segregation is going to be. So just do that math really quick. So you got a 750 cost basis. Be conservative times that 0.2, that's 150. So $150,000 is going to be your depreciation
in your
on $1 million property with a 25% land value.
And you went off 15% cost basis, or
I did 20. I did 20.
Oh, you did a 20. Okay, so
I did 20.
750.
It depends. If it's an industrial house, if it's industrial, do 15. If it's like I'm working on one in Arizona right now, Dutch Brothers.
Uh-huh.
That's going to be like 20, maybe even 25. Mobile home parks are like 50. It's stupid how high those things go.
Really?
Yes, very high benefit there on mobile homes because they're mobile.
Yeah.
And so your actual modular building is 5-year property.
Yeah.
Wait, wait. You said 1 million and then at 25%. What's the 25% for?
25% you back out the land. You
Land
can't
back.
On the
depreciate
land.
land.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
you're
So
at, now
So
you're
your
at
cost basis is
75%.
750 times
Right.
that by 0.2, that's 150. And then what I use for just the tax bracket, I just default to 37%. These guys are owning properties. They typically they're investors. They know what they're doing, and they're in the top tax bracket. You can use 28 all day long if you want to be conservative, or 37. So you take that 150 of depreciation and times that by whatever you think their tax bracket is, and that's your net benefit right there.
got it. That's simple math.
And then
It is simple math.
without cost segregation, they're getting what, 5% or so.
Well, they
Without
get,
cost segregation, you're going to get it over 39 years or 27 and a half years.
yeah. So if you take that 150 divided by 39, they're getting $3,800 a year for 39 years versus 55 grand right up to today. That's what we're showing them.
No, you take the 750 and divide it by 39 years.
So where I'm going with
But
this is
the 750, if their cost base or if their tax bracket is 37%, so you take the 150 times 37%, right?
Yeah.
Times
Yeah, you're right. You're
37%,
right.
That's 55 grand,
You're right.
and then that 55, or no, I'm sorry, 750 times 37% is 277,000 is what they get over the whole 39 years, but we're giving them 55 grand of it right now because that 277 divided by 39 is 7 grand a year.
So again, don't go in the nuts and bolts on the first call.
Yeah.
Get
No,
the
not the first
proposal, and the spreadsheet's going to tell you all those numbers.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to do is create like a spreadsheet in my mind, but I'm going to work it on an Excel spreadsheet. But then, that would be a good image to show maybe on a second or third email to motivate these guys, so they understand.
Yeah.
I could probably do this on an Excel. I know a little bit of the how to do formulas on there. I don't know if you guys do too, but I could build it out and so that we could just plug numbers in and they'll automatically do the calculations for us if you guys want.
Just ask ChatGPT to do it for you, Fernando.
There you go.
Yeah, but the formulations, the format.
They're pretty simple.
Let's work on it, Carrick. I appreciate it. That'd be great.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I'm calling out of CoStar or whatever you guys use on the commercial side, I'll just run those calcs real quick in my head, on my calculator, 3 seconds. I call them up and say, hey, congratulations on your recent sale property. Would you be interested if I could reduce your income tax by 75 grand this year? Most people aren't going to say no to that.
Yeah.
Like, what
Unless
are you
it's
talking
Fernando
about?
asking. They're gonna say, hell no, get the hell. Hey, okay, so last couple quick questions here, Tommy. I know you got to go. What do we do? I'm still a little uneducated on if I'm talking to a guy and he bought a property 5 years ago.
Yes.
Okay, we can go back and
Bonus.
amend the prior returns, or
you can amend them.
Mm-hmm.
You can amend them, yes. And what we do is, that enrolled agent was very thankful for that. I said, look, we will take care of the amendment. That's a pain in the ass. It's called a 3115.
Okay, so the 3115 is the
we charge $1,200 for it, but it's well worth it because it's a pain in the ass report to do. You're basically going to the IRS and saying we are changing the depreciation schedule. Here's why, and then it's a big stupid ass report. We charge $1,200 and we do it for the enrolled agents, and they're very thankful for that.
Yes.
Okay.
So you could get guys on a big deal getting a check from the IRS for 7 figures if it's the right deal, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You only have to amend 1 year. Go back one, like to year 1 or year.
It's only 1 year, so yeah. So if you get there, you don't have to get 2 years tax. All you have to get is the very most recent
Appreciate it.
Depreciation schedule. That's all you need, and it's gonna have all their properties on it. And then
Oh,
go
So they
from there.
won't amend 5 years, they'll just amend one?
No, you only have to amend the most current year that's been filed
Okay,
because it's a running tally, right?
sure.
And so you just got to go to when they file 23, perfect, okay. And then if they bought it in 24, you just ask is a 1031 exchange because that changes up that does change your cost basis. If they bought it in 24 with a 1031, but if not, then you just go to Zillow.com, see what it sold for, or a property profile. And in property profile, you'll see what the land value is in it, right?
Yeah.
And there you go, run with it.
Do you guys so these EAs these phone numbers that you have are their cell phone numbers? Is that what you guys are finding?
We don't know.
Don't know.
It's whatever they.
It's mostly cell phone numbers. I haven't got one that was not.
Have you ever used your text replacement in your phones?
what?
What's text replacement?
That's what I like to hear. So text replacement is super simple. You go to your settings, you go to general, you go to keyboard, and you go to text replacement. And all you do is, let's say you have a generic text that you want to send to the same message to 100 people,
Oh yeah,
right? So all
I've
you
used that in the past.
Yeah, so you create the text. Normally, I'll just email myself the message I want to type in there, and I copy and paste it into the phrase, and then there's a code that you put in. So let's say it's a CS1 for cost seg one, right? You just type CS1 on your text that you're going to send out, and that whole phrase that you
Yeah,
will pop up, and you can just send that multiple times over and over. I use it all the time. I can send you guys a how to
Yeah, do it.
do that.
Is that the same text laws?
What's that?
Oh, they've passed a bunch of laws on texting.
Oh, I don't know. This is just something that most phones have pre-built in iPhones. I use an iPhone, but it's a feature that's built into most phones where you can just create a text replacement. So you don't have to type the same thing every time on a text message. If it's something generic, like, hey, I missed your call. This is Fernando reaching back out to you on that cost segregation, whatever. However you want it, whatever your spiel is. I use it for mortgage. So I even have one that has a needs list for mortgages, right?
exactly.
Good talking to you. This is what I'll need to get your loan moving forward. I'll need X, Y, Z, right? And email it back to this email address. And
That's exactly right.
yeah. So
I used to use it in the old days. It is a good one, and you can have a pretty good canned one, and
yeah,
it goes really quick.
yeah. And then I have other ones for like follow up or whatever. I
Yeah.
just have a number of them that I have saved. So I'll put together a job aid showing you guys how to do it, and then yeah, take advantage.
Perfect.
Technology.
All right, guys, I got a boogie.
All right.
Great meeting.
All right. Yeah,
Send
thank you.
that out to Gary and Ryan, the recording, please.
Yeah, I will. I'll send to
Send it
everyone.
send it to everyone, please.
Yeah, I'll send
Thank
to
you.
them.
All right, cheers.
All right.
Take care,
Adios.
guys.